Frustration is mounting and anger is growing with the liberals and passive politicians. Learn the playbook of those who are trying to destroy our country. From the blue-collar professor, he teaches, he leads, he speaks out for truth and justice. Now, the educator of all things conservative, your host.
The leader in talk radio on the internet, right here on K98Talk.com.
If you want to work until you keel over, have less of everything in retirement, or give back more of your hard-earned money to the stock market again, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to protect the money you save, receive a steady, predictable retirement income, and enjoy financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. You can download a free report that reveals the wealth-building secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. You'll learn how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and real prosperity without risking your money in the Wall Street casino, and how to get the money you need when you need it, simply by asking for it. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement, and know your money will last as long as you do. To learn more about this method, and to get your free report, go to 29security.com. That's the number 29security.com. 29security.com. Go to 29security.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry, or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
All right, folks, this is Rick Robinson with you. I want to tell you about some friends of mine from a company called Security Enforcement Specialists. When I ran my security agency for 12 years, I worked with one of these partners on a daily basis. He's been involved in this agency now, and with his other partner, they do have over 30 years of experience in the private security industry. If you own a business, and you need someone to keep you or your customers or residents safe, then I highly recommend contacting Security Enforcement Specialists today. Give them a call at 405-703-1796. Again, that's 405-703-1796. Again, tell them Rick from K98 Talk sent you. Like I said, if you need the help, they are here for you, so make sure that you go look them up, check them out, and see what they can do.
Wrong way. Welcome to the place. Welcome.
Joe had huge problems with the IRS.
I knew it was coming. I hadn't filed taxes since 1990.
All the IRS letters coming in added up to a nightmare.
To get up to like $68,000, my heart started beating fast. It's like, there's no way, man. I mean, I ain't going to be able to do this.
Then they stopped his paycheck.
So that's when I started making phone calls and found U.S. Tax Shield.
U.S. Tax Shield went to work immediately.
They just took the bull by the horns. What blew my mind is he called the IRS right then and there.
So why is U.S. Tax Shield A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau? Joe knows.
They saved me a ridiculous amount of money.
If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or state, choose the company Joe chose, U.S. Tax Shield.
It was the best decision I made. U.S. Tax Shield is the way to go. Life is good. Thank you, Lord.
Call 800-471-3287.
U.S. Tax Shield. Boo-rah. Yes.
800-471-3287. 800-471-3287.
The Internet will never be the same. You're listening to K98Talk.com.
Whoa. Good God, y'all. What is it good for? Absolutely. Now get set again.
Dr. Gavin Mitchell.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday edition of the program where we continue to take the left of school, exposing them for who and what they are, all while arming the hardworking people of America like you, like myself, with knowledge we need to hold our elected officials accountable. Fear not. Unlike other professors' classroom, here in my classroom, there are no safe zones. Why? Because we believe in the First Amendment. There is so much to get to. The day after, I believe, the primary that locked this up for both the left and the right. Before we get there, I want to remind you, if you would like to connect with the show, you can do so in several ways. We're on the web, www.thegavinmitchellshow.com. You are welcome to email me anytime you would like. I love to read those emails. Whether it's suggestions, comments, complaints, opinions, whatever the case may be, as long as it's done respectfully, I appreciate it. I welcome it. You can do so by emailing me at gavin@thegavinmitchellshow.com. We're on Twitter at The GM Show, Facebook, facebook.com/The Gavin Mitchell Show. You can find the show on demand several places. The website is one of them, but we're also on iTunes, Spreaker, TuneIn, and Google Play now as well. And regarding Spreaker, we are so close to the 100 followers. If you have a Spreaker account, we sure would appreciate a follow. If you do not, it only takes a moment to sign up. It doesn't cost you any money. If you could do that and search The Gavin Mitchell Show and give us a follow, we would appreciate it more than you know. The reason being, once we hit 100 followers, we qualify to be accepted into iHeartRadio's podcast stable. And that's kind of the mecca for those of us who do this. You can find our show on different internet radio stations. Our flagship station is conservativeradionetwork.com. We are there every day, Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Central. We are on K98 Talk. Special thanks to Rick for allowing us to do that. And the405media.com. And a special thanks to John. We are very proud to be a part of those families and grateful that they give us the opportunity. You can interact with the live show. We do that every weekend, Saturday night on News and Information KLIF 570 in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It is a live show. You're welcome to call in and participate. We would encourage it. If you're outside the Dallas area, you can find that show streamed live on conservativeradionetwork.com. Ron and his guys have allowed us the opportunity to stream that live so we can reach our national audience and not just the Dallas-Fort Worth audience. And we've had some great calls from all over the country and would encourage you, listen and participate as you're out and about Saturday night. It means the world to us. So jumping right into it, we talked about it yesterday. We talked about it a lot last week, moving into the 5 primaries yesterday. And I made a claim that may not have seemed so outrageous, but it was a jump that if Donald Trump has the night in these 5 states that he had in New York just a week ago, this thing's effectively over. I mean, it's over. There's just no way people can rebound from such a beating. And all the projections, all the polls had him having a great night. I mean, it was going to be a good night for Donald Trump as far as any and every indication we could find. The problem is those polls and predictions missed. And they didn't miss on the side you thought they would miss on. He took 110 delegates of the 118 that are pledged via vote. He put an absolute whipping on Ted Cruz and John Kasich last night. Now, to be fair, this is Donald Trump's stomping ground, but nobody expected this. In Connecticut, he sweeps the delegates with 57.7% of the popular vote. In Maryland, he sweeps the delegates, 38 of them, with 54.4% of the popular vote. In Delaware, sweeps the delegates, 16 of them, with 60.8% of the vote. In Pennsylvania, sweeps the pledged delegates with a number of 17, with 56.7% of the vote. He literally swept all 5 states. He literally swept all the delegates out of 4. The only exception is Rhode Island, where he won 10 of the 1819 delegates with 63.8% of the votes. I have seen reports where he won every congressional district and county in this primary, 5 states. He won them all. And just some key points out of this article I'm looking at. Donald Trump voters beat the collective totals of both Senator Cruz and John Kasich combined in every state contest. Trump now leads the national vote by over 3.2 million votes. Now, that's on the popular vote side. This is the 6th straight contest where Donald Trump has won more than 50% of the vote. Now, with that, do you remember this argument? Do you remember this play? And it's something Ted Cruz said many times. Donald Trump has this ceiling at or about 40%. He can't seem to get over that hurdle. And that was Ted Cruz's argument as to why people needed to get out of the race, because he argued there were 60% of the people that would go with anybody but Trump. And if he could just get rid of everybody else, he was the guy. He was the guy to pick up those votes. There's no way they would go to the Trump side. But every election that we have seen in the last 2 weeks, New York and these 5, he is not only above 40%, he's above 50%, in some cases approaching and above 60%. So that argument just doesn't hold water. He won every county within each of the 5 states and won every single congressional district in each of these 5 states. I don't know if the Trump camp could have planned a better night for them. It was an absolute beating. It was a beating like these other 2 candidates aren't legitimate candidates. They're not real candidates. I mean, he treated them like they were some small town city mayor running for president. He just mollywalloped these guys. And I'm fascinated by this. I'm fascinated that because if you'll recall, we were talking about after Wisconsin, the Trump camp realized, and Donald Trump realized, they needed to change their game plan a little bit. They needed to alter some things. And this is really, New York was a given, and granted, these were probably a given wins, but not like this. I have to believe that this margin of victory has something to do with the change in strategy that the Trump camp went through by bringing in people that know how to run elections. Because prior to the hiring of Manafort and company, it was a bare bones campaign. It was a skeletal staff. He didn't have thousands of people working for him. It was him and his surrogates, and that was it. But now that these guys have come on board and realized or have shared their knowledge, their information, their experience, everything says Trump just, I don't know if he can be stopped. The math says he cannot be stopped. He won 110 of the 118 pledged delegates, and I've seen numbers all over the board about these unbound delegates in Pennsylvania. We talked about it in length about how Pennsylvania was structured. They had 54 unbound delegates of the 71. Well, Trump took 17 of those, of the pledged delegates that have to go with the vote. But some reports are saying he took 39, some are saying 40, some have said 45 of the 54 unbound delegates. According to this article, it was 45, so they're approximating the gain in delegates yesterday in total was around 155. That is a number that is absolutely unheard of. That is disgusting that he won that many delegates. So those 155, if you add it to the previous 848 he now has 1,003 delegates. He is right there knocking on the door. Now, there are different outlets that have different totals for him, and it all comes down to these unbound delegates, whether they add those in or not. CNN has him at 988 after last night. New York Times has him at 950. Politico has him at 950. The Green Papers have him at 956. So they're all over the place. But the best I can tell, the real math has him over 1,000. And if you look at that moving forward, he needs, just to use rough and round numbers, 250 more delegates to guarantee this thing, right? And that's being conservative and that's being safe. 250 more delegates will get him there. There are 502 delegates remaining on the table in the next 6 weeks. Indiana is next. It is next Tuesday, and it has 57 delegates. It's a tight race right now in Indiana with Cruz and Trump, but the numbers have Trump ahead. The way Indiana breaks down, 27 are district level allocations, and the winner of each district gets those delegates. There's no chopping up the pot. There's no allocation. If you win the most votes in a district, you receive all 3 convention delegates. There are 9 congressional districts. 30 of the delegates are statewide delegates, and they're going to be allocated to the one who receives the greatest number of votes statewide. So it's a winner-take-all, but not as a state as a whole. They treat each congressional district differently or separately, and then they take on the state separately. But that's not where it stops. Even if Trump has a bad night in Indiana next week, if he doesn't win the majority or most, or even if he loses the state outright, this thing isn't over for him. New Jersey is June 7th with 51 delegates. It's winner take all. You can put that on the board right now for Donald Trump. West Virginia, May 10th, 34 delegates. So far, Trump's ahead there. And then California is June 7th with 172 delegates. And California is kind of up in the air, but you have to think he's going to get the majority or at least part of those. This doesn't include Oregon, Washington, New Mexico, and all of those are probable wins for Donald Trump right now. To me, there is no way now he doesn't get to the 1237 because all of this is out there, but a lot of this math that people are doing outside the article I'm looking at doesn't include the unbound delegates. And you have to believe in your heart of hearts that Trump has more unbound delegates than people believe. Do I think he has the majority? I don't know. Some people hold that very close to the vest. We've talked about when people go to vote for these unbound delegates, a lot of times you have no idea who they support. You just see a name on the ballot. Now, there are different outlets and different people that are working to try to tie a candidate to that unbound delegate so people know going in who they're voting for. But that hasn't been solved in prior situations. And so there are a lot of unbound delegates. You just don't know where they lie. You don't know what's going on. Quite frankly, and if you'll listen to the show this Saturday night, there are a lot of people who are being bribed, who are being intimidated, and we have actually one of those coming onto the show Saturday night to talk about that. And so you just don't know who's going to be strong and stand up to that. You don't know who's trying to strong-arm people, who's not, who's trying to bribe people, who's not. And so this unbound delegate situation, it's a big question mark. You just don't know where it's going. But last night was the telltale for me. We knew it was going to be a big night for Donald Trump, and it was a huge night. I mean, it was an absolute beatdown. And the only place Ted Cruz picks up candidates is in Rhode Island, where he finished third. He didn't even beat Kasich there. Now, he beat Kasich in the other four, but they were meaningless wins. He didn't pick up any delegates there. The only place he picked up delegates was in Rhode Island, where he came in second to Kasich. And mind you, after last night, Kasich is still in fourth place in a three-man race. So that's what we have. Now, Cruz came out last night and had his little speech, but he was in Indiana. He wasn't in any of these 5 states. And there's been some flack about him calling the basketball hoop or basketball goal, whatever the proper term is, the basketball ring. Who cares? Who cares what the president or the potential president knows about that? I don't. They're making something out of nothing. Here's the something you need to take away from this. 1, he went out of his way to list off 10 things in which Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton agree. Some of them were a stretch, some of them were accurate. But he went out of his way to equate Donald Trump with Hillary Clinton, saying they're one and the same. He said they're different faces on the same coin. And that's a play to say, look, if you elect Donald Trump, it's no better than electing Hillary. You need to understand that if you care about conservatism and you care about the Constitution and this country and your religious liberties and all this other stuff he promises, then Donald Trump can't be your guy. That was one play to try to cut Donald Trump off at the pass here. The other play was he came out and said, look, after tonight, the media is going to say Donald Trump is the winner of this primary season, that he is the apparent winner of the GOP nominee. That's not true. That's not true, because after this, we moved to more favorable terrain, was his quote. And that very well may be true. We may be moving into more favorable terrain for Ted Cruz. Indiana's definitely more favorable than any of these 5 states or New York. And as we move west, he's doing better in the polls in California than predicted. But we're still a long ways away from California. The fact of the matter is, this thing is over. I understand Ted Cruz saying, wait, hold on. It's not over till it's over. We're going to continue fighting. I know Mark Levin's in the boat with him. We're going to fight. We're going to fight. We're going to fight for what we believe in. All of that's fine. But this thing is over. The math says it's over. The math doesn't say now that he could possibly maybe hit that number. The math says he's going to hit that number going into the convention. That's what it says. And so Donald Trump is turning his attention to Hillary Clinton. And in his speech last night, he made the claim that Hillary Clinton, corrupt Hillary is what he calls her, I believe, he accused her of playing the woman card in her presidential campaign. And that's true. If you listen to Hillary Clinton, she plays the woman card. She does. She plays this feminist card. You've heard her say over and over again, well, I catch this flack because I'm a woman. You catch the flack because you're an idiot and you're a liar. That's why you catch the flack. It's because you're incompetent. Your resume may look stellar, but if you look at the performance in each of those positions, it's embarrassing. It would be embarrassing for me. So just because she's held the positions doesn't mean she did a great job. It doesn't mean she learned anything. The problem is that Clinton is now 90% of the way to her party's nomination after 4 victories last night. She did lose a state, but it wasn't significant. She's 90% of the way there because of the superdelegates. Now, in her rally in Pennsylvania, she mentioned Trump accused me of playing the woman's card. And she stated, if fighting for women's health care and paid family leave and equal pay is playing the woman's card, then deal me in. Well, let's talk about that, Miss Clinton. Fighting for women's health. Abortion is not women's health. Planned Parenthood, who performs abortion for the majority of their revenue and tucks it away in their books, that is not fighting for women's health. Nowhere in there is aborting a baby fighting for women's health. It is a way to dodge responsibility for your actions. It's a way to not be held accountable for your actions, is what abortion is. That's not women's health. You can spin it any way you want to, but the veil's been lifted over that. The great Wizard of Oz has been exposed on this deal. Now, family leave, that I guess that's fine, unless you're a business owner. Right? And it puts people in jams. Equal pay, well, that's something I think we all agree to. If you do the same job, it shouldn't matter your race, religion, gender, none of that. I agree with that. But is it the most pressing issue facing this country? Absolutely not. She continued, if you're a Democrat, an independent, or a thoughtful Republican, you know that their approach is not going to build an America where we increase opportunity or decrease inequality. Keep in mind the liberals' platform here. Keep in mind the platform on the left. Their way of decreasing inequality isn't to raise people up, it's to push people down. It's to make everybody a victim. And we've gone over example after example after example on this program. They don't increase opportunity. That's not what they do at all. So Cruz comes out and says that the campaign is moving to more favorable terrain after last night. He then announced this morning that he is going to make a major announcement later today. And because we record this show in the morning, we don't have that major announcement just yet, but we'll definitely cover it on tomorrow's show. There's speculation about what this announcement might be from Cruz. Everybody seems to think that Cruz is going to name Carly Fiorina as his VP candidate. That seems to be what everybody's thinking. I am telling you that if Cruz is the smart guy we think he is, if he truly cares about this country and cares about this party, his play needs to be to come out today and say he is suspending his campaign and he throws his full weight behind Donald Trump. And I know I'm going to get some emails from Cruz supporters. I get it. I have said it a couple times. I have a Cruz sign in my front yard. I like the guy. And I actually had a listener that came out, emailed me and said, Lion Ted. I said, and it was a very respectful exchange. He didn't take it personally. He didn't take it as an attack. He took it as an honest question, and that's exactly what it was. And I said, hey, I hear that a lot, and I've done a little research. I can't seem to find what people are talking about. Could you give me some examples? And to his credit, he took some time to research it, and it was a fantastically researched email. And he told me, he goes, you know what I learned? I learned that the lawyer in Ted Cruz is great at spinning facts. That it is the truth, but it's pitched in a way that leaves you scratching your head. I can't find a lot he's lied about, but he gave me some examples, and they hold water where, like his voting record, he hadn't been there a lot over the last couple of years. You can charge some of that to the campaign, but he's missed a lot of votes. Well, that's not upholding his promise to us, right? And so credit to this guy for researching, and he realized, you know what, maybe he hadn't lied as much as I thought he had, but I'm still a Trump guy, and that's completely okay. It's completely okay to be a Trump guy. All I've asked from the beginning is make educated decisions. And that's what he did. He went and he researched, and he came back to me with stuff I didn't know, and it was a great exchange. And look at it, folks. There's a Trump guy and a Cruz guy having a pleasant and respectful conversation, an exchange of ideas, and we came to middle ground, both appreciating each other for what they did and what they do. and that they love this country, and they just happen to differ on this one point. I value his listenership more than you know. My point is that I am a Cruz guy. But if we care about beating Hillary Clinton and we care about saving this country, then we have got to jump on the Trump train right now, and Ted Cruz needs to lead the way. Ted Cruz needs to mend this bridge with Donald Trump. They need to come to an agreement. And could you imagine, and I know it's an extreme hypothetical right now, if Ted Cruz and Donald Trump were on the same ticket, and 8 years from now, Ted Cruz takes over as president, and we have 16 years of pushing forward, not caring what people think, shooting the establishment the finger, and rebuilding this country. After 16 years, we will be as great, if not better, than we have ever been. I don't think that's going to be the announcement today, but a guy can hope, can he? I know I sure do. Hey, I found an interesting deal on Facebook, and I want to get into it on the other side of the break. A man takes his daughter to Target and actually has a discussion with the manager over their transgender bathroom policy. We're going to get into that on the other side. Hang tight.
The Gavin Mitchell Show.
Do you need residential or commercial roof repairs, maintenance, or replacement in the Dallas-Fort Worth area? J-Bow Roofing has over 35 years of experience in the industry, and they have the know-how to keep you dry and comfortable. J-Bow Roofing also offers a roofing system that is warranted against hail of any size, and this is a no-excuse warranty. J-Bow Roofing doesn't want their customers to cringe every time it hails. They want customers to have complete confidence that their roofing system is going to stand up to the task. Basically, J-Bow Roofing wants to stop the insanity, lifetime roofing period. Re-roof once and be done. A J-Bow roof product is aesthetically pleasing and tougher than anything you can find. A J-Bow roof is so nice your neighbors will want it. J-Bow lifetime roofing systems are strong as steel, tougher than hail, and guaranteed. So it'll be the last roof you put on your house. Looking for a price? Get a no-cost, no-obligation quote today at jabeau.com. That's jabeau.com. J-Bow Roofing. Your long-term satisfaction is their immediate goal.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000? Or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company, General Steel.
800-398-8309. 800-398-8309. 800-398-8309. That's 800-398-8309.
Twisted Roads Trading Post in Crowley, Texas is your premier biker apparel, leather, and accessory store. Stop in and visit with brothers Ron and Carl Phillips. Twisted Roads Trading Post carries leather jackets, chaps, vests, accessories, gifts, and more. Open 5 days a week, Wednesday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and on Sundays, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Got a motorcycle or trike to sell? Let Twisted Roads Trading Post be the place to go. Their park and sell lot is now available and anxious to show off your ride. Sewing, embroidery, and T-shirt printing services are also available throughout the week. Call today or visit twistedroadstradingpost.com or find and like them on Facebook. Located west of Crowley on FM 1187, then south on FM 1902. Go 1.3 miles and look for the flags. 817-768-8761. That's 817-768-8761. Twisted Roads Trading Post. If the flags are flying, we're open.
Hey everybody, your pal Gavin Mitchell here from my friends at Texas Elite Landscape. We all have that embarrassing spot in our yard we just can't seem to get grass to grow. Or perhaps you're tired of pumping hundreds and thousands of dollars into your yard just to get it to turn green when the weather warms up. Or maybe the constant maintenance is just too much to bear. Well, my friends at Texas Elite Landscaping are the most respected synthetic grass installation specialist in North Texas. Locally owned and operated, they have installed over 1 million square feet of the highest quality quality grass made right here in the USA. And I know what you're thinking. Is it pet and child friendly? You bet it is. So whether you want your yard looking picture perfect year round, no matter what the season is, or perhaps you'd like a putting green in the backyard to keep your husband home on Saturdays, give my friends at Texas Elite Landscaping a call today. 214-298-7726. That's 214-298-7726. Or find them at TexasEliteLandscaping.com.
Let's get back to the program. If you're sick of the garbage that comes out of Washington, D.C., then it's time to arm yourself with knowledge from the Blue Collar Professor. Here's your host, Dr. Gavin Mitchell.
So we all know Target has adopted this policy that if you feel like a woman, you should go into the women's restroom. It doesn't matter if you're a grown man with a beard and a belly. If you feel like a woman, you are allowed to go into the women's restroom. And there's been a lot of, my gosh, it's been everywhere. You know, different states are passing different laws saying, no, you know what, you've got to go to the bathroom that your God-given gender says you go to. There are states that have taken the stance and says the security of my family, my daughters, my wife is more important than the feelings of such a small sliver of society. And we've worn this topic out because it's very important to me, the safety of our families and our community. And it's not that the Bruce Jenners of the world are just going to go in there and start hurting people. That's not it necessarily. Part of it, but a smaller part, is that it's going to raise questions for kids who aren't ready for that conversation. They're too young to have that conversation. And parents are going to be forced to explain some difficult life situations to kids who were still too innocent to have that conversation. But that's not the biggest piece. The biggest piece is it opens up the door to people who intend to do harm, to predators who can jump through this loophole, who can piggyback on it and say, well, I feel like a woman, and then go in there and cause harm. And granted, the right-wing media has probably overexposed the problem to a degree, pun intended, that they list every sexual offense that happens in a restroom, every perverted act, all of that. But it does happen, and this opens the door for opportunity. If you look at crimes, there has to be a couple things involved. One, they have to have some bad thinking, right? They can't think like you and me and know that you just don't do things. They'll find a way to justify what they're doing. They have to have the desire to do it, right? It just having those thoughts won't do it. They have to have the desire to do it, and they have to have the opportunity. Well, what this does is it takes one of those three prongs and just kicks the door wide open. And that's a problem. And there's a lot of people that don't agree with this, but Target's taking their stand. So a dad posted this on his Facebook a while back. I pulled the article off the Blaze. And this guy, he had a conversation with his young daughter. And he explained to his little girl on the way to Target how some men think they're women and wear dresses and makeup and want to use the women's washroom instead of the men. And he asked her what she thought of that. She said, that's weird, and was quiet for a little bit. And then she said, if a man walked into the women's washroom, I'd fight him until he got out. Right? This little kid got angry that her innocence and her privacy were being compromised. Well, the dad added on the Facebook post and in this article, we kept talking and I explained to her that we should be kind and loving to everyone because everybody's a person with heart and feelings. But that you can also disagree with what they're acting and think it's weird. That's absolutely 100% the right response. You love the sinner, you hate the sin. So they got out and they went into the store and they approached the manager and, quote, asked her on a practical level how the Target policy worked out if my 6-year-old daughter walked into the women's restroom and someone with a biologically male body part walked in behind her. The article claims the manager's response wasn't encouraging to him. She said Target has always had a policy of non-discrimination, and if parents have concerns, we could use the family rooms, or his daughter could come into the men's room with him. He told her that as a concerned dad, I'm uncomfortable with Target's decision to allow people with male body parts in the women's washroom. and that we think it's weird. We think during left kept the whole conversation really polite and relaxed as possible. So Target's standing up for their stance. And you would think that the pushback from those of us who believe in the safety of our families, the safety of our communities, the privacy of those thereof, would have a result on Target, that we would just say, you know what, we respect your position, but we choose not to shop there anymore. We don't go out and throw fits like the left does, but we just make a conscious decision that we're not going to enter a place like that who so blatantly walks over our values. That hasn't been the case. Yesterday, an article from thestreet.com, the headline, and it tells you all you need to know, Target boycott shouldn't worry investors. And there is a boycott going on. It has 50,000 signatures, which isn't relevant in the world of Target. But Target boycott shouldn't worry investors. It won't hurt sales. Target responds. So Target doesn't think this is going to matter at all to them. They think that those that believe if it feels good, do it, is going to push through anything those of us right-wing conservative Christians do. And you know what? They're right. They're right, because I am looking at a TGT, which is the Target stock that's traded on the New York Stock Exchange. And if it's not sitting at an all-time high, it is very close. It's trading at $82.98 a share. It's up 38 cents today, which is right at 0.5%. But if you look at the incline from 1995, it's just skyrocketed. Well, if you take the granular approach and just look at the last month, on April 11th, it had a drop to 79.77 cents, but then shot right back up. And by the way, it's not at an all-time high. The all-time high happened April 19th, and it was at $83.98. So it's right at $1 under its all-time high. There's been no effect. There's been no repercussions to Target. There's been no reason for them not to appease this small sliver of the community and worry about their feelings. And this underscores a point, and we're probably going to have to cut some breaks because I'm running incredibly long here. But my point is this. Do you remember around Christmas on the show, we talked about the Starbucks cup? And I got pretty frustrated with my fellow believers because Starbucks decided to take the snowflakes, the snowmen, off the cup, off their holiday cup, and just make it a traditional red cup. Well, Christians were up in arms about this. Oh, you're taking Christmas off your cups. You're anti-Christian. And my response was this. It's a snowflake and a snowman. They are winter symbols. They're not Christian symbols. Why would you get mad at that? But furthermore, if you're going to get mad at some of the policies that this CEO is handing down. He has said unequivocally, without question, we don't want the Christians' business. We don't care about what they believe. We're concerned about gay rights and all this other stuff. But Christians continue to shop at Starbucks. They're so mad over the cup, they ignore the policies that blatantly spit in the face of our beliefs. But we continue to go to Starbucks each and every day. We continue to go to Target each and every day. These policies, we send no message. We send no message. And I'm not saying go nuts. I'm not saying go spray paint Target. I'm not saying throw a big protest. None of that. What I'm saying is, if they launch policies that we simply do not believe in and are uncomfortable with, there are alternatives. There are alternatives, and you're welcome to shop there anytime you like. The problem is we simply don't.
The Gavin Mitchell Show.
Are you tired of making payments to a security company that doesn't seem to have the same values as you and doesn't offer the most recent technology? American Defense Systems is a veteran-owned and operated security company specializing in home security and automation solutions to fit your lifestyle while keeping small business owners more connected to work while on the go. American Defense Systems makes practical recommendations for families to keep your home safe without trying to sell you a bunch of extra stuff. And for businesses, American Defense Systems wants to provide you with the comfort of knowing that your business is safe by allowing you the monitoring options you need without loading you up with too many extras. American Defense Systems' goal is to provide your home or business with an affordable and technically superior security and automation system. If you're not happy with your current security system or provider, set up a no-cost consultation today at AmericanDefenseSystems.com. That's AmericanDefenseSystems.com. American Defense Systems, proud to be a veteran-owned company.
Boy, man, I had a rough night's sleep. Boy, I got a letter from the IRS yesterday, and I just couldn't sleep. Man, I'm dying here. Somebody help me.
IRS problems affect more than just your finances. If you're ready to take back control of your life and you owe more than $10,000, you need to call the Tax Doctor. Their expert staff can immediately protect you from the IRS and state collectors and get you the best possible tax settlement guaranteed. The IRS has recently released new programs geared in helping struggling taxpayers, where you may qualify to settle your tax debt and wipe out up to 85% or more of what you currently owe. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call the Tax Doctor right now. See if you qualify to pay less. 800-631-9123. 800-631-9123. 800-631-9123. Again, 800-631-9123.
Do you believe in conservative politics, common sense issues, and the U.S. Constitution? So does Matt Locke. Who is Matt Locke? Well, Matt's just a guy that believes, like many of you, that our country is headed in the wrong direction. If you feel the same, then go to Matt's new website, themattlockshow.com. Matt is a friend of the Gavin Mitchell Show, and he's a conservative podcaster and talk show host who will shoot you straight and provide information that is important to the conservative listener. You'll hear political commentary, news, and he'll discuss the current issues that will affect you during this election season. Listen to Matt's daily podcast anytime on his website at themattlockshow.com, spelled MATTLOCKE, or find his show on Spreaker.com and TuneIn.com. He's also syndicated on ICRN, the internet's new conservative radio network. Join Matt and his guest on the Matt Locke Show daily at 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific on conservativeradionetwork.com, or listen to any of his 400 archive shows at any time on themattlockshow.com. The Matt Locke Show, all things conservative politics.
The following message is brought to you by Health Markets, your first choice when you need health insurance for your small business. Do you offer health insurance to your employees? Call us now and see if you can save money. Do you want to offer vision and dental to your employees? Call us. Do you think you're paying too much for your current health insurance? Call us. Do you want somebody else to do all the legwork and search thousands of health plans from over 180 health insurance companies nationwide? Call us. We're Health Markets, and thanks to a little-known solution, we could help your business save thousands of dollars on health insurance costs and save your employees money, too. Our service is free. Don't miss the great savings. Call now.
800-470-8021. 800-470-8021. 800-470-8021. That's 800-470-8021.
Health Markets Insurance Agency is DBA of InSphere Insurance Solutions, Inc., licensed in all states. Product availability varies.
Hey, liberals, try rooting for your own country for a change. Our blue-collar educator of all things common sense does. Now, back to the Gavin Mitchell Show.
Do you remember that situation up at the University of Missouri we had where this black kid felt there was too much racial tension and prejudice going on campus? So he launched a protest. He jumped out in front of the homecoming parade. He convinced the football players that they shouldn't play until this was resolved. There was a poop swastika involved in this. Do you remember this situation? I'm sure you do. And then we find out later that it was all, or at least the majority of it, was all garbage. It was all fictitious. And there were some changes made at the university. But during one of these protests, there was this assistant professor at the journalism school, Melissa Click. And she decided that she wasn't going to let a student journalist into the protest to film what was going on. And she decided she was going to remove them and just made a complete idiot out of herself. Just looked like a complete fool. Well, she was fired, but now she's coming out and she's talking about it with the Chronicle of Higher Education. And She is claiming, keep in mind, she was fired after she tried to block a student journalist from documenting last year's protests on the campus. And she was fired. She didn't have the authority to decide who could go what and where at a state university. Well, she has now claimed, quote, that this is all about racial politics. I'm a white lady. I'm an easy target. Who didn't see this coming? Are you kidding me? Even the white people are victims of race at the University of Missouri. So let me ask you this. If the black people are victims of race and the white people are victims of race, who's the culprit here? Who's the person that is being racist? I don't understand. She elaborated to say that the Missouri's Board of Curators fired her, and this makes no sense to me. Maybe it makes sense to you, to, quote, send a message that the university and the state wouldn't tolerate black people standing up to white people. What does that have to do with her? They wouldn't tolerate black people standing up to white people, but she got fired because she's white. And she's a woman. What sense does that make? Well, the University of Missouri's board, the chairwoman, Pam Hendrickson, responded to this. Dr. Click was not entitled to interfere with the rights of others, to confront members of law enforcement, or to encourage potential physical intimidation against any student. Good for them. Good for them for trying to right this ship. And I just want to point out as we close out this segment and move to the last to finish today's show, this lady is a doctor. She has a PhD. And you have heard me say many times that the education, it's not a product of intelligence. It's a product of opportunity. And yes, I'm doctor. I'm Dr. Gavin Mitchell. But it just comes to show, just because you got a few letters after your name doesn't make you a smart person. I know plenty of idiots, and here's one of them, that have letters after their name that just have no issue being an idiot. They just shouldn't be allowed to function in society. They just shouldn't. But because they have PhD after their name, they think they're somebody. Let me be very clear. Those letters mean nothing. They mean nothing other than you decided to invest your time at school to further your formal education. Doesn't make you a good person, doesn't make you a smart person. And in some cases, it makes you an idiot.
The Gavin Mitchell Show.
Boy, man, I had a rough night's sleep. Boy, I got a letter from the IRS yesterday, and I just couldn't sleep. Man, I'm dying here. Somebody help me.
IRS problems affect more than just your finances. If you're ready to take back control of your life and you owe more than $10,000, you need to call the tax doctor. Their expert staff can immediately protect you from the IRS and state collectors and get you the best possible tax settlement guaranteed. The IRS has recently released new programs geared in helping struggling taxpayers, where you may qualify to settle your tax debt and wipe out up to 85% or more of what you currently owe. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call the tax doctor right now. See if you qualify to pay less. 800-631-9123. 800-631-9123. 800-631-9123. Again, 800-631-9123.
Do you need residential or commercial roof repairs, maintenance, or replacement in the Dallas-Fort Worth area? J-Bow Roofing has over 35 years of experience in the industry, and they have the know-how to keep you dry and comfortable. J-Bow Roofing also offers a roofing system that is warranted against hail of any size, and this is a no-excuse warranty. J-Bow Roofing doesn't want their customers to cringe every time it hails. They want customers to have complete confidence that their roofing system is going to stand up to the task. Basically, J-Bow Roofing wants to stop the insanity, lifetime roofing period. Re-roof once and be done. A J-Bow roof product is aesthetically pleasing and tougher than anything you can find. A J-Bow roof is so nice your neighbors will want it. J-Bow lifetime roofing systems are strong as steel, tougher than hail, and guaranteed. So it'll be the last roof you put on your house. Looking for a price? Get a no-cost, no-obligation quote today at jabeau.com. That's jabeau.com. J-Bow Roofing. Your long-term satisfaction is their immediate goal. Mitchell.
Hey everybody, your pal Gavin Mitchell here from my friends at Texas Elite Landscape. We all have that embarrassing spot in our yard we just can't seem to get grass to grow. Or perhaps you're tired of pumping hundreds and thousands of dollars into your yard just to get it to turn green when the weather warms up. Or maybe the constant maintenance is just too much to bear. Well, my friends at Texas Elite Landscaping are the most respected synthetic grass installation specialist in North Texas. Locally owned and operated, they have installed over 1 million square feet of the highest quality grass made right here in the USA. And I know what you're thinking. Is it pet and child friendly? You bet it is. So whether you want your yard looking picture perfect year round, no matter what the season is, or perhaps you'd like a putting green in the backyard to keep your husband home on Saturdays, give my friends at Texas Elite Landscaping a call today. 214-298-7726. That's 214-298-7726. Or find them at TexasEliteLandscaping.com.
Attention business owners. We know that owning a business means getting things done right now. So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company. General Steel. We can design a building for your business quickly and save you thousands of dollars. That's right, thousands. You may think General Steel only builds large projects or that you can't afford General Steel quality. Well, check these prices. How about a 40 by 60 foot building for under $22,000? Or even a 50 by 100 for under $35,000? That's right, a 5,000 square foot building for under $35,000. And these buildings all have General Steel quality. Best of all, you can still order a building and have it delivered in time to build this year. How's that for right now? So if your right now list includes a new building, call the Right Now Company, General Steel.
800-398-8309. 800-398-8309. 800-398-8309. That's 800-398-8309.
If you happen to drive by the studios during a commercial break and you see a guy on the roof waving an American flag, that's our blue-collar doctor of common sense. And now here he is, your host, Dr. Gavin Mitchell.
So it's no secret that here in Texas and with all the border states, we're concerned about the security of our southern border. Plain and simple, we're worried about it. But we're worried about it for more reasons other than just those from Central America and those from Mexico coming over, stealing our jobs, committing crimes, stealing health care, stealing education, and finding refuge in sanctuary cities. It goes a step beyond that. And before we get into what I mean, I want to let you know, if you happen to get a hold of this show before 3 Central, 4 Eastern time, I would highly encourage you, join me as I hop on to Matt Locke's show in South Bend, Indiana. That's at 95.3 MNC, South Bend, Indiana's talk radio station. I'm going to join Matt Locke for an entire hour as we break down last night's events, talk all things election, and it's going to be a great time. You can find that show if you're not in the South Bend area at 953 MNC, MaryNancyCharlie.com. And you'll be able to stream it there. And so if you get the opportunity, tune in. It's always a good time when Matt and I get together. But a woman from Guatemala has been sentenced to 3 years for her role in a smuggling operation that recruited illegal immigrants from India. And they smuggled them through Central America, through Mexico, and up through the Texas border. If these people from India had the cash, they would get them to the United States during a period between January 2011 and February 2014. And she was arrested in Guatemala, extradited here, and she was sentenced to 3 years. Now, why is this alarming? Is it because Indian people are overly violent? No, not at all. Is it because they're any different than, say, those from Mexico or Central America in what they do here if they're here illegally? No. Does it mean I don't like Indian people? Absolutely not. I actually have some really good friends that are from India, and I know every person trying to convince people they're not racist says that, but I do. And I think the world of them. But they came over here legally. They did it properly. And so the same argument holds whether you're from Mexico, Guatemala, India. I don't care where you're from. If you do it illegally, we got problems. But here's why this is so concerning. Do you think outfits like ISIS and Al-Qaeda, may have the bankroll to jump on this little railroad they have to import people into the United States? Do you think this stops at just India? Absolutely not. These terrorists have bankrolls that surpass mine, at least. They can absolutely afford to get this done. And here's proof people are willing to do it. The only thing they care about is the cash. They don't care about the safety of the United States. They don't care about anything United States. They just care about having a few bills to fold. And so when this president and this administration and this candidate on the left, Hillary Clinton, talks about, oh, well, these illegal immigrants, they have feelings. You know what? So do we. And it hurts real bad when you get shot or blown up. And if we don't shut down these borders to everybody, what are we going to do? They're coming over here illegally. Are we going to police them? Well, where are you from? What are your intentions? Absolutely not. They need to come through the front door and do it properly, or we're in a world of mess. And this is the intermediate step, folks, right here. This is the intermediate step. That's going to do it for today. Join me and Matt Locke, 3 Central, 4 Eastern. And remember, in the words of the great Ray Wiley Hubbard, on the days I keep my gratitude higher than my expectations, well, I have really good days. I hope you have a great day. We'll see you right here tomorrow. I am Gavin Mitchell. This has been The Gavin Mitchell Show.
Thanks for listening to The Gavin Mitchell Show, the Blue Collar Professor, produced in Fort Worth, Texas. If you like what you just heard, subscribe on iTunes and Spreaker.com. These and other links can be found on our website at thegavinmitchellshow.com. Be sure to tell your friends and colleagues about the Blue Collar Professor's daily podcast. Join us again next time as we take the liberals to school. All opinions expressed by the host or guests on this series are solely their opinions and do not reflect the views, policies, or positions of The Gavin Mitchell Show or its affiliates. This has been a Ron Phillips Pinnacle Broadcast Holdings production.